5,000 years ago, civilization appears to switch on. Cities rise, writing begins, laws are written, mathematics takes shape. According to history, this all begins in one place, Sumer. But this is where the story becomes strange. Humans did not suddenly become intelligent 5,000 years ago. They had already survived ice ages, crossed continents, mastered fire, mapped the stars. So why does civilization seem to arrive fully formed? And why does it arrive so suddenly? What if Sumer was not the beginning? What if it was the moment something returned? History does not begin where humanity begins. History begins where evidence survives. Stone outlasts wood. Clay outlasts memory. And entire worlds can disappear without leaving a trace. What we call the first civilization may simply be the first one we can still see. To understand this, we have to look deeper into the past. Long before cities, humans were already organizing knowledge. They tracked seasons, predicted animal migrations, understood astronomy well enough to mark time. This information was not written down. It was memorized, ritualized, passed from generation to generation. For tens of thousands of years, knowledge lived inside people. And when people disappeared, so did what they knew. Then, in southeastern Turkey, something was uncovered that changed everything. Göbekli Tepe. Over 11,000 years old, older than agriculture, older than cities. Yet it contains massive stone pillars arranged with precision. Some weigh more than 10 tons. They are carved with animals, symbols, and abstract imagery. This was not random behavior. It was organized construction, planned labor, shared belief. Everything we associate with civilization. Except it existed before farming. Göbekli Tepe forces a difficult question. If hunter-gatherers built this, what else were they capable of? And how much of their world has been erased? Another ancient site complicates the story further. Çatalhöyük, a dense settlement over 9,000 years old. Homes built wall to wall, art painted across interior walls, the dead buried beneath the living. This was not a temporary camp. It was a structured community with shared space, shared rituals, and social rules. Yet there is no writing, no kings, no centralized authority. Civilization without the things we usually use to define it. The idea that humans slowly evolved from simple to complex begins to break down. Intelligence did not suddenly appear. It was always there. What changed was what survived. Oral cultures can store vast amounts of information, but they are fragile. A single catastrophe can erase generations of knowledge, and catastrophes were common. At the end of the last ice age, sea levels rose dramatically. Entire coastlines disappeared. Floods reshaped river valleys. Communities living near water may have been wiped out completely. If early centers of culture existed there, they now lie underwater, beyond excavation, beyond recovery, beyond history. When Sumer emerges around 3500 BCE, it does so abruptly. Writing appears, mathematics develops, law codes form, cities expand. There is little evidence of a long, gradual build-up. It looks like knowledge reassembled quickly, as if pieces were already there. Sumerian texts describe beings who brought knowledge, teachers, organizers, figures associated with the heavens. Most historians interpret these accounts as mythology, symbolic stories meant to explain inherited knowledge, but similar stories appear across the world. Civilizations separated by oceans speak of culture bringers, of wisdom arriving from before. This does not mean these stories describe literal events, but it does suggest memory. The memory that knowledge was passed down, not created from nothing. Sumer remains the earliest confirmed civilization because its records survived. Confirmed does not mean first. It means preserved. History is shaped by loss as much as discovery. What we see is the fragment that endured. The deeper human past may be older, more complex, and more fragile than we imagine. Civilization may not be a straight line. It may be a cycle. Knowledge gained, knowledge lost, knowledge rediscovered. Sumer may not have been the first attempt. It may have been the first one that lasted. And that possibility changes how we see ourselves, because it suggests humanity has been here before, building, learning, forgetting, and starting again. This is not the story of the first civilization. It is the story of how easily history disappears and why the human experiment is still unfolding.